Have you ever stopped to wonder about our origins, about where we, as a species, came from? This question has intrigued the human mind for centuries. Our curiosity has led us to look beyond our immediate surroundings and dig deeper into our past, leading us to the concept of evolution. Evolution, in its most basic sense, is the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the Earth. It's a fascinating concept that has shaped our understanding of life as we know it. Now, when we talk about evolution, it's impossible not to mention Charles Darwin. In the mid-19th century, Darwin proposed a revolutionary theory that changed the way we look at the natural world. He suggested that all species of life have descended over time from common ancestors. This process he called natural selection. Natural selection is essentially survival of the fittest, where species adapt and change over time to better survive in their environment. However, there are several misconceptions about evolution that often hinder our understanding. For one, evolution is not a ladder with humanity at the top. It's more like a branching tree, with each branch representing a different species. Also, evolution is not a process that happens overnight. It's a slow progression that occurs over millions of years. And lastly, despite what some may think, humans did not evolve from monkeys. Rather, humans and monkeys share a common ancestor, a creature that lived millions of years ago. Understanding these basic concepts is key in grasping the bigger picture of our evolutionary journey. It allows us to appreciate the complex web of life and our place within it. So, with that basic understanding of what evolution is, let's delve deeper into our own history. Our story begins in the depths of prehistory with the earliest known human ancestors. These early beings, our ancient forebears, were not quite human, yet they were not quite apes either. They were something in between, a bridge between the old world and the new. One of the earliest known members of this ancestral lineage is a species known as Australopithecus. These creatures roamed the Earth more than 3 million years ago. The Australopithecines were bipedal, meaning they walked on 2 legs just as we do. However, their brains were only about 1/3 the size of ours, and they still retained many physical characteristics of their ape-like ancestors. The Australopithecines lived in what is now Africa, a continent that is often referred to as the cradle of humanity. It was here in this vast and diverse land that the journey of human evolution began, over millions of years. Through a slow and painstaking process of natural selection, these early ancestors gradually evolved into more modern forms of humans. This gradual transformation is at the heart of what scientists refer to as the out of Africa theory. This theory suggests that all modern humans can trace their ancestry back to a single group of early humans who lived in Africa. Over time, these early humans began to migrate out of Africa, spreading their genes and their cultures across the globe. But this journey was not a straight line from primitive to advanced. It was a winding road filled with detours, dead ends, and unexpected twists. Our ancestors faced countless challenges and obstacles along the way, from changing climates to fierce predators. Yet through it all they persevered, driven by an indomitable spirit of survival and a relentless quest for knowledge. So, the next time you look in the mirror, remember this. You are not just looking at yourself. You are looking at millions of years of evolution, at countless generations of ancestors who struggled and survived, who learned and adapted, who dreamed and dared. You are looking at the story of humanity. From these humble beginnings, our ancestors began a journey that would take them across the globe. As our ancestors evolved, they began to move beyond their African homeland. One such ancestor, Homo erectus, embarked on a journey that would change the course of our history. Homo erectus, a species that lived approximately 2 million years ago, was the first of our ancestors to leave Africa. Their journey was not a simple trek, but a series of migrations that spanned thousands of years. These migrations took Homo erectus to every corner of the Old World, from the lush forests of Southeast Asia to the rugged mountains of Europe. These migrations were no small feat. They required innovation and adaptability, traits that were honed over generations. Homo erectus was not just a wanderer, but a survivor and an inventor. Key to Homo erectus's survival was their use of fire. Fire provided warmth in the bitter cold, a defense against predators, and a way to cook food, making it easier to digest and more nutritious. With fire, nights became less about survival and more about socialization and learning. It was around these early hearts that the first stories may have been told, the first lessons passed down. But fire was not their only innovation. Homo erectus was also an adept toolmaker. They crafted hand axes and other tools with a precision and consistency never before seen. These tools allowed them to hunt larger game, defend themselves, and alter their environment to better suit their needs. These innovations, fire and tools, were not just about survival. They were about control. Control over their environment, over their food, over their future. As Homo erectus spread across the globe, they adapted to new environments, faced new challenges, and shaped the world around them. They left their mark not just in the fossil record, but in the very landscapes they inhabited. These early pioneers were laying the groundwork for the world as we know it today. Their story is not just a tale of survival, but a testament to our species' incredible capacity for innovation and adaptation. It is a story that continues to shape our world and our understanding of what it means to be human. Our journey now takes us to a time when we were not the only human species on Earth. The stage of history we're stepping into now is as intriguing as it is mysterious. In this era, the planet was home to multiple human species, among which the Neanderthals were our closest relatives. They were robust with a stocky build and had a brain size comparable to ours. Their world and ours were about to collide, setting the stage for a fascinating chapter in the story of evolution. Neanderthals inhabited the harsh climates of Ice Age Europe, where they developed unique adaptations. Their wide noses, for instance, were designed to humidify and warm the cold, dry air. They made sophisticated tools, built shelters, and even demonstrated a sense of art and culture. It's clear that Neanderthals were not the brutish, primitive creatures of popular imagination, but rather complex beings with a rich cultural life. Then came a pivotal moment in human history, the encounter between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. As our ancestors migrated out of Africa, they crossed paths with the Neanderthals in Eurasia. What happened next is a subject of much debate and research, but evidence suggests there was interaction and yes, even interbreeding between the two species. You might be surprised to learn that if you trace your ancestry back to anywhere outside Africa, up to 2% of your DNA might be Neanderthal. This genetic legacy affects various aspects of our biology, from skin color to immune system, and even susceptibility to certain diseases. The Neanderthal story, however, ends with their disappearance around 40,000 years ago. The reasons are still unclear. Was it competition with Homo sapiens, drastic climate change, or a combination of factors? The mystery remains unsolved. As the last Neanderthals faded away, we stood alone as the last human species. This realization underscores our unique position in the history of life on Earth. It reminds us of our deep connections with the past and of the intricate story of evolution that has shaped us. With the stage set, it was time for modern humans to make their entrance. The story of modern humans, or Homo sapiens, begins around 300,000 years ago in the continent we now know as Africa. The prominent features that distinguish us from our predecessors include a high forehead, a rounded skull, and a chin, a unique trait among hominids. As our brain size increased, so did our capacity for abstract thought and problem solving. This led to a boom in technological innovation, with tools becoming more specialized and complex. Around this time, we see the first evidence of art and symbolic thought, hinting at the development of language and culture. But Homo sapiens were not just thinkers, they were explorers. Over tens of thousands of years, they began a grand migration. First within Africa, then beyond its borders, venturing into Asia, Europe, and eventually, every corner of the globe. They became the first, and so far the only species of human to set foot on every continent. As they spread, they encountered other human species like the Neanderthals and Denisovans. There was conflict, yes, but also cooperation and even interbreeding. Today, traces of these ancient relatives can still be found in our DNA. With their spread across the globe, Homo sapiens began to develop diverse cultures and societies. From the hunter-gatherer tribes of the Paleolithic era to the first agrarian societies, humans were laying the groundwork for civilization. They learned to control fire, to domesticate animals, to plant crops. They built the first settlements, then cities, then empires. Language too evolved, becoming a complex system of communication that allowed for the sharing of knowledge and ideas. This, in turn, spurred further innovation, setting the stage for the world we know today. From these early beginnings, we have built a world beyond anything our ancestors could have imagined. Each step in our journey, each discovery and innovation, has shaped us and continues to shape us into the species we are today. The story of human evolution is the story of us, a tale of survival, adaptation, and the relentless drive to understand and shape the world around us. As we look back on our journey, it's clear that we are the product of millions of years of evolution. We began in the primal soup of life, eventually emerging as the earliest humans, wandering and exploring new frontiers. We've seen the rise of Homo erectus, the first true pioneers, and the enigmatic Neanderthals, our long-lost cousins. Then came the rise of us, modern humans, setting the stage for civilization as we know it. The tapestry of our story is rich, woven with threads of survival, innovation, and adaptation. Evolution continues to shape us, molding us into beings that can better survive and thrive in an ever-changing world. What does the future hold? That remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: evolution never stops. We continue to adapt, to grow, to change. We are a work in progress, an unfinished masterpiece in the grand scheme of life. In the grand tapestry of life, we are but a single thread. Yet what a remarkable thread we have proven to be.